Welcome to the Pier-to-Pier Travel Chats podcast with your host, Josh of the Moonlight Adventures and Mike, the Naughty Cruiser. What's going on, y'all? We are in the house once again. Hopefully, we will have the same amount of viewership as we did last week, but if we don't, we know why. That's all we're going to say about that.
What's going on, everybody? And what's up, y'all? How y'all doing tonight?
Man, I am great. Eric B., how you doing, man?
And I'm doing great. Good to see everyone here.
Yeah, good to have you. Good to have you. So we told you guys when we started this thing that even though you know me and the Naughty One for our cruising ventures, even though we do a little bit more than that, that we were going to have all kinds. It's why it's peer-to-peer travel chat. So it's all about travel. My man Eric B., he's been on one cruise. He's getting ready to go on his second, I believe. But this dude goes everywhere. He's been to places that make me jealous. He's been to some places that I've been in my military career that are kind of cool that you just don't think about folks going to, but he's been there. And I'm excited, man. This is something different for the podcast. And I'll get, just before I let the Naughty Man talk, I just want to remind everyone that this is being recorded for a podcast. So we are not being buttholes here when we don't talk to you. Our moderators will talk to you in the chat. You're welcome to talk in the chat, but it is a podcast and it is a stream of consciousness, and it's meant to be so you can get to know the people behind the content. So Naughty Man, what do you got? I cut you off.
It's encouraged, man. Like talk away in the chat, have your conversations, but listen in, right? So I just wanted to say before I got here, I was on a few minutes early, and y'all believe Josh gave me some heat about my hat tonight? Like, how you gonna dog my boys like that, bro? Listen,
and my team was the first. My team was the first to get eliminated. The Tampa Bay Rays.
That's what I'm saying. You could be a Braves fan, but Eric's a Rays fan, and they lost both first and second game of that 3-game series. So, I mean, listen, it is what it is, right? We ain't here to talk sports, but I mean, listen, I was going back over some things that Eric's got on his channel, man. Like, you've been to Lithuania, Germany, Cali, living outside of New Orleans, and you've only been on one cruise?
Only one cruise, so this will be my second. I'm excited about it. It's a good one, though. It's the Carnival Celebration.
Okay, when you leave,
Naughty knows a little bit about the celebration.
That's my baby. That's my boy. I took her out her first time. I treated her right for 14 days coming across that Atlantic Ocean.
Even though she looks like.
So were you on that first one with Blaine and all of them?
No, I was on the transatlantic. So I came.
He was on the first one, the real inaugural.
Yeah, the very first sailing.
Wow.
So I was on the very first sailing with paying passengers. It left out of Southampton, went to Vigo, Spain, La Coruña, Spain, Puente Delgada, the Azores, and then no, it wasn't Puente Delgada.
That's awesome.
Tenerife, and then it came over to Florida. But it was amazing, man, because I got to be one of the first people on there, and that was like the big thing for me. Was like, that was my very first big cruise. So I've been on plenty of them, but that was my very first 14-day cruise. That was my very first time flying international to like Europe and not Cancun, Mexico. We call that international, but I mean, I could spit on it from where I live in Florida. So that was my first time doing a lot of big things, and it was an amazing trip. So, but I'm just fascinated, man. Like, a lot of international travel, and I'm a big preacher when it comes to traveling internationally versus domestic, because I believe there's more bang in your buck when you go international versus domestic, right? But what got you to want to do like all those off the beaten path places that only land-based travelers go to, and then switch you into cruising?
Well, honestly, my first thought of doing international travel was watching YouTube. Probably watching Walter's World and watching Yellow Productions and some of those channels. I started seeing all these different cities. So, the first thing you want to do to dip your toe in the water, I'm like, I'm going to go to London and Paris, because those are places everyone wants to go. Went to go see the football game, Dolphins Saints in London, got to go to Paris. It was great. And then as I started watching more and more of these YouTube videos, it's like, you know what? I want to explore more, just not London, Paris. Let's go to Prague. Let's go to Budapest.
Right.
Let's just really go to a lot of different places. And the more I do it, the more I really enjoy it. I've been to, I think, like 16, 17 countries in Europe now. So
Nice.
I'm enjoying really hitting up all these different countries in Europe. It's been amazing. And I want to branch out, do Asia, Africa, everywhere. Australia is definitely high on my list.
And you're a solo traveler, right?
Oh, yeah. 99% of the time I travel solo. My first international trip, I went with my sister to the football game in London and we went to Paris. But other than that, I travel internationally solo. Now, I met up with Darian from Magnificent Germany with Darian over in
Yeah,
Germany.
in Germany.
We spent a little time together over there, but all the rest of my travel has been solo.
Yeah, it's
Now
crazy, man.
with here's my thing, right? Like I got kids, I got all that at home. So the traveling solo part doesn't happen always. It happens more often than it should because, you know, not everybody can make everything work, right? Everyone works jobs, whatever, kids got school. So I do a lot of the traveling solo. When you're traveling with people, do you sit there and think to yourself, like, man, I just want to go do this instead of doing what the group's doing? Because I know, like, I get that urge, right? Like, when I'm on a big group cruise, I get that urge where I'm like, yeah, y'all are doing this, but I think I'm going to slide this way. And you get like that.
Y'all going to Paradise Beach. I'm going to go to Sancho's.
Right. Like, I mean, it's not that you want that alone time, but it's, you know, you travel better solo than you do in like a large group, right?
Right. See, I'm expecting like this group cruise I'm going. There's like over 100 people right now. It's the non-group group cruise by Beach
Yeah.
Please and
Yeah. Beach Please
and Adventures
Lovey's
Ahead.
Fat
So
Life,
Or
Adventures
are you
Ahead.
taking
Yeah.
part? Are you taking part in the group or are you taking
I'm
part in the non?
I'm part of the non-group. So what
No. Yeah, there you go. There
oh,
you
I
go.
see what you're saying. Yeah, the
Yeah.
non.
Are
But
you
I'm gonna
taking up with Josh and Michelle, or are you taking up with Betsy and Mike? You can't go wrong either way. We had a good time with Betsy and Mike, but be prepared
I've
for
had a
drink.
great time with them. I had a great time with them in New Orleans. I was there pre cruise. I didn't get to meet Mr. Naughty here, but I know you were down in New Orleans. You went on the cruise. Unfortunately, I didn't go on that cruise, but I was down that weekend. Had a good time hanging out with Mike and Betsy and the
Man,
Gilberts and all of them.
I was hitting New Orleans hard, bro. I went running in New Orleans. I was hitting everything. I had so many places I researched for food, so many places to go and hit, and I loved every minute of it. And that's why I want to go back now for the Boost cruise we got in October. I want to go back a little bit earlier so I can hit up certain places. I'm a little heartbroken that Willie Mays is going to be still closed because I'm going to tell y'all right now, that's some of the best fried chicken y'all can never get. It just is, it's sad.
I went there once. It was excellent. I went one time. It was excellent. I've tried to go back other times, but they have weird hours when they were open and they were closed.
So they caught fire back in April and they ain't been reopened since. But I have dreams about that chicken, y'all. Let me tell y'all right now. Y'all, listen,
we got a place, man. I know what you're talking about, right? So like,
I hate when you take a chicken breast and you bite it and all the skin comes off.
yeah,
Bro, when you bite this, you get like the perfect bite of skin, the perfect bite of juicy chicken breast. It's just it's something that make you dreams, real good dreams.
there's a place in Clarksville, Tennessee. So like this is north of Nashville, and this is some of our we lived there for 18 years. This place was not there during the 18 years we lived there. So now I go back for business, and they have this place called JP's Hot Chicken, and it's an Indian guy that owns it. So it's his Indian take. So he uses Indian spices and everything, but it's Nashville hot chicken.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Boy,
And
don't
even try to get his hot. If you get his hot, you're gonna be crying.
I can imagine.
But it's
good, Indian
man.
food can get really spicy.
Yeah, man, it's some good food though. Golly,
if you need something to clean you out, man, go for a spicy Indian curry dish. You'll be all right for a couple days.
Then get you some naan with some like cilantro, lime, something or other.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have to cool your mouth down with some like butter chicken.
That's what Chastity likes, the butter chicken.
Now, with you going to so many places, right, Eric? If you had to pick out of the 16 you said you've been to, what would be the one country that you would constantly repeat?
And Prague is probably my favorite city from my experience, and I want to see more of the Czech Republic. But I really, really enjoyed Prague. Prague is awesome. Budapest too, but I probably would say Prague if I could pick one city. Though I'm
So,
not gonna lie, that last trip going to the
hey,
Baltics and Scandinavia
yeah.
was unbelievable.
Look, Eric B, the videos that Eric has on Prague and that party boat you got on,
Oh yeah,
man, that party boat looked
that was
awesome.
fun. That was
Yeah.
fun.
Man, living it up over in Europe while everybody else is still here.
Did you stay? So I remember watching. It's been a little bit though. Did you stay in a hostel when you were there?
Man, I've stayed in every kind of arrangement over there. I usually mix it up a lot. I've stayed in some nice hotels. I've stayed in hostels. I've stayed in Airbnbs. I've stayed in some cheaper hotels. I've stayed in apartment rentals. I actually enjoyed the apartment rentals on my last trip a lot. I stayed in like three different apartment rentals, and one in Lithuania was really nice, and one in Tallinn, Estonia was nice. But yeah, I've stayed everywhere, hostels to apartments, all of it. I
And that's
mix
the
it
great
up.
thing with solo travel, right? Because it's you. You don't have to convince somebody else, like, hey, we're going to stay in a hostel for 2 nights.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
be like, a
Right.
hostel? Like, I don't want to stay in a shared hostel. Listen, that's just like the capsule hotels in Japan, right? You can go
Right.
stay
I do that in
somewhere
a heartbeat.
in a capsule hotel for 25 yen a night. It's dirt cheap, but you're living amongst the people of Tokyo, dead smack in the middle of the city in a capsule hotel. Now, do I think I can do it with being 6'2", 350 pounds? I probably don't think I could because I might feel like I'm in a coffin, but it gives you the opportunity to do so many different things when you travel solo.
I did the
And
capsule hotel in Iceland. It was a fun experience.
yeah, see,
Cool.
man, Iceland's definitely one of the places that are on my list.
For
Like
sure.
that
For
is
sure.
definitely on top of my list. I went to Alaska in July on the Luminosa, right? I came back at the beginning of August, and then the second week I was home, the cruise director was posting pictures of the Aurora Borealis and how it was lighting up the night sky. I was so heated that I didn't get to see that on my cruise. I'm like, all right, that's it. I need to go book one of these glass cabins. I need to go all the way up in Canada somewhere, all the way up in Iceland somewhere, and I just need to stay there and just see it and take it all in because it's tough, man. But me with traveling solo, I like the option of options, right? If you want to wake up one day at an apartment, you rent it, and then go to the market and bring everything back and make yourself a Lithuanian meal from
I love
scratch,
that
you can
about
do
it.
that.
Man, I loved Lithuania. So hey, what part of Lithuania did you go to, Eric?
Well, I stayed in Vilnius, the capital,
Okay.
but I
Yep.
also went to Turkai to the big castle and spent the day in that area. Yeah, I don't know if you've been there before. The big
I have,
castle,
yeah.
yeah, the
Well, I've
Turkai.
been to so we flew into Vilnius and then we drove to Kaunas. So we stayed in Kaunas.
Yeah, I didn't go there, so I was in Vilnius for 3 days, and then spent about a good most of my one day was in Turkey. I really enjoyed that, just walking around, going to the big castle. It was amazing. It was a great time there too. But Lithuania was a lot of fun. But the Baltics as a whole, Riga, Latvia, you talk about a party place. Oh my God, that's a party town there.
Well,
Yeah,
that's like Barcelona
people sleep
after
on
11 o'clock at
Eastern Europe.
night.
We
Have you ever?
expected when we went over there, and of course we went over there for work, so we weren't able to do a whole lot, but we expect Eastern Europe, humdrum, like, St. Petersburg, Russia or something crazy like that. And you get there and it's not that way at all. And it's cheap to eat, all kinds of crazy cool things to see. Like one of the wild things we did while we were there is we went to the Museum of Satan.
Oh wow.
It cost $2, and so or €2, and like their thing there is so they're all Orthodox. Most of them are
Right.
Orthodox Catholic, and but one of their beliefs is you need to believe as strongly in Satan as you do in God and Jesus. So they respect Satan. They don't believe. It's
They
weird,
don't
right?
praise
So,
him.
so that's what this Satan museum is. You go in there and it's like all these different how people view him, how Like one of the things was a goat hoof with Hitler, Mussolini, and shoot, and Stalin coming out of it. It's
Wow.
but then the wildest thing is you get to the top floor, and that's the children's area, and the children are encouraged to draw their own picture of Satan. I
Wow.
want to tell you that was some creepy shit, like stuff you would see in a horror movie. Like,
Wow.
what in the world did I do? You expect somebody la 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 la. That will haunt your dreams, man. That's the
That's
creepiest
like
thing
the
I saw the whole
Exorcist
place.
type
Josh,
stuff
it's
you
me,
expect.
Satan.
Yeah, I attached myself to you from Lithuania.
Oh man, that's crazy, bro. I probably would turn around and be like, "Yep, I'm never coming back in here again."
I
That's like I
did,
was
man. Like,
talking.
we watched so many of those. You watch stuff like the shoot. What's the one with the demons and
Like The
there's a lot of
Exorcist and all that
yeah
stuff.
stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm not touching anything. I'm like this because something's gonna attach to me. I'm gonna bring it home, and like stuff's gonna be.
Bro, I know that feeling because I was talking to Kurt today because it was his birthday. So shout out, happy birthday, Kurt from See Me Traveling. And he was like, West Virginia is real nice. And I was like, yeah, I don't buy it. I seen Wrong Turn 2. One, I seen The Hills Have Eyes, bro. You're not gonna get me in West Virginia. So sorry, just not gonna go there.
So what's your take on so you were in Vilnius. I wish I would have got some time to hang out in Vilnius. But so I know you love Prague, but for me, and I've told people and they look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, if you went back to Europe, outside of the major spots, where would you go? Like, I'm going back to Lithuania. And people are like, really? I was like, yeah, I would. I enjoyed it that much. I'd like to take my family back there. So how did you feel about Lithuania?
One of the things too that I really like about Lithuania, so when you're at Gediminas Tower, the hill and the little castle tower, which I did a video on, and you can look down and you can see the sides. So on one side you got the old side with all the old buildings, the old town, and then there's a whole modern side that way with the bridge and everything. And it's really cool to look at it and see the difference between the two. But I really like Lithuania too. It's a very affordable place. Like I said, you could get good
Super
accommodation.
affordable.
I mean, that apartment I stayed in was super nice. I think it was like 70 euros a night, maybe.
Yeah.
Really nice, 70 euros a night. It was a nice, big, comfortable bed. It was great.
We could go. So what was really cool is everybody walks everywhere, and everything is within 2 miles. It seems like so. Like you can walk from the downtown area. You can walk uphill, and that's where. So in Kaunas, that's where they have their Olympic training center. So that was cool to go see. Then you walk down the other way, and you get down into the downtown area. There's a castle down there. There's a church that was built in the 1400s, which was amazing. But the coolest thing is every morning we would get up and we would go down to the local bakery and we would get these like little flatbread things that they make that had eggs and sausage and all kinds of great stuff on top of it. Go to work, eat whatever lunch we pack, come back, go and eat supper. So you go and eat dinner and you're getting a 4-course meal and including dessert for €9. And this is fantastic
Easily.
stuff. This is like hog shank and cabbage cream, like, oh, just melt in your mouth, potato pancakes, all these kind of things. And so that's €9. You come back and you're like, all right, I'm ready for a nightcap. Let me get, an espresso with, whatever dessert you pick, you know, and it's just amazing. I really just fell in love with that place. I can't wait to take my wife back there. The grocery stores, because we bought groceries obviously
Oh
because
yeah.
we were working, we had to pack. Sturgeon, live sturgeon, like a whole side of mutton just sitting out. I mean, it's nuts. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that whole entire area. You know what else I think maybe a little bit underrated? The pastries in the Baltics
Yes.
and Scandinavia in general.
Oh
The
yeah.
pastries are so good.
Yeah.
Like
They they
I
they
mean
really are.
everyone talk about the French pastries like Paris. Like I would rather Scandinavian or Baltic pastries. Like they're better.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. So in their diet too is it's almost like a keto kind of diet. I don't know. I mean, they do have some starches, but yeah, it was really amazing to me. And then the people there, how they live their lives, um, and some of the different traditions that they have. So like you can't, you're not supposed to shake hands or welcome anybody through a doorway.
Yep.
I don't know what that's about, but that's one of those things. And then no tipping. So while we were there in the bar and restaurant area, um, one of the guys that we were there with put money there for tipping, and also just in case like one of the soldiers forgets to pay their bill or whatever. So we get done, and the guy I'm with is like, what? How much money do you have left up there? And he said, well, €50. And we were tipping these guys, 5 or 10 euro a night, and they're like, that's too much. That's too much. And they said, well, we're kind of embarrassed that you're tipping us at all. Normally, people don't tip. If you give
Wow.
excellent service, it's 50 euro cents that people will tip. Give good service, nothing. And if you give bad service, they're going to go talk to somebody. But it's kind of like we had to learn this when we were in England. In England, they are part of a service industry, and they go into that line of work and they do not expect tips, and they're paid well. And same kind of thing in Lithuania. Um, but we're like, no, no, you don't understand. We're getting like 170 euro a day per diem.
Yeah.
You take that money.
First restaurant I ate at in London, they told me not. They told me not to tip. They said we don't accept tips.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
it's like that a lot through Europe because they all got that VAT tax. So that VAT tax is pretty much you already tipping because that's on top of what you're already paying. So they're pretty much building in a price in there. So I learned that when I went over last year, and the guy was like, "Yeah, we don't tip because the VAT tax covers pretty much what you would tip us." So my rule of thumb is if I ever get coins of like anything under €1 and under, I just leave them.
But you got to
Every,
watch out for those coins because you may need to use the restroom, and and we know
yeah,
how
but
in Europe oftentimes they make you pay with coins.
I have this thing with public bathrooms, so it either way.
It doesn't matter.
Hey, speaking of paying to go to the bathroom, one of the places I'd like to go is Singapore.
That's
Oh,
very high on my list. Very high.
if we
They,
talk about bucket list destinations, dude, it's Greece and Italy, which I'm hitting in April, and then it's anywhere in Asia. So we're talking Singapore, Vietnam, Japan, China, South Korea.
Thailand.
And I sent you a message not that long ago, like, yo, bro, let's take this epic cruise out of Bali. Or
Yep.
not Bali, Dubai. Like, let's take
Dubai.
this epic cruise out of Dubai, bro. Like, let's
We're
just
looking
do
at
it.
it, man. We're looking at it.
Because,
Maybe that's the peer to peer. Maybe like, hey
hey,
guys, if
peer-to-peer
we
group
ride this
cruise.
wave, so we talked about this. All right, late breaking, and we're not putting anything out. We're just saying it's an idea. All right, so we are doubling our viewership every time we put something out. So you guys are liking it for whatever reason. Thank you so much for enjoying what we're putting out. If we can continue to grow, like I don't want to. Nadia and I talk about this. We don't want to seem pretentious, So like we understand we are a small channel. People like us, but we're still small. So to us, it seems pretentious to be like, "Hey, let's do a group cruise." However, if we continue to grow, both Nadia and I, and this peer to peer thing continues to grow, peer to peer group cruise, maybe, maybe. Who's in? Who's in?
I know I'm in. I'm in for any cruise. It doesn't matter. We,
Transatlantic sounds really good though.
we
Yeah, it
already know
does.
that. I got one in April, Eric. Come on over with us. Leaving out of
Sounds good.
Barcelona, come on back to Port Canaveral, man, on the Carnival
Awesome.
Glory.
How
Yeah,
many
but
have you been on?
Dubai, man. I told you, Nadi, and I have toured the Middle East. Not in the way I would prefer to tour the Middle East, but I've seen Kuwait, seen Afghanistan, I've seen
And there's
Iraq.
a lot of us
Been
that
to
appreciate your service and appreciate that tour you took for us.
Hey, you know what? I mean, I flew over some beautiful places. I'm going to tell you what. Like, if you fly over Afghanistan and you forget that Afghanistan is war torn, you're like, wow. I mean, the Alps. You can see the Alps. It is beautiful. Flying through those valleys are amazing. But then you fly over certain villages and you start hearing ping, 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 and you go, "Oh, okay, yeah, we're still in combat."
Yeah, piggyback to reality.
But so I've been to Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. So I hope I said that right. But none of those, and I told you, like going somewhere like Dubai would be very surreal for me. Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and for a while they were talking about getting the tourist industry back into Iraq. Of course, now it's heated back up. But like those things would be, it wouldn't be quite as impactful as the D-Day guys, right? But something like that. Just going back over
Right.
there when there's peace, right?
Right.
Would
And
be
that's the thing.
amazing.
Like people ask me all the time, like, why would you cruise out of Dubai? Like, you know how much money it's going to cost you to fly there? Yeah, but you know how cheap the cruises are out of Dubai? Like we're talking a 2-person capacity, a double occupancy cabin in a balcony with free drinks and Wi-Fi for less than 1,200 US.
Wow.
Like you can cruise dirt cheap out of Dubai and see such amazing places. And yeah, you might have to pay 7, 8, 9, maybe $1,000 or more for airfare, depending on where you're coming from. But the cost of the cruise alone and what you're getting with the cruise, it's so worth it. And it's that once in a lifetime experience, right? Like we all know tomorrow's not promised. We all know that, when we're born, our number's already picked. It's just a matter of time until we reach that final destination, right? So why not go and see those places, those once in a lifetime countries and experience that? Because you never know if you're going to make it back.
Well, and that cruise you're talking
You're right.
about. I mean, you're sailing out of Dubai, but you're going to Jordan. You're going to somewhere in Saudi Arabia. You're hitting like,
Yep.
I mean, these are once in a lifetime places you're going to go see.
Yeah, and it's it's tough, man, because you want to book them all. Like you just want to do it all. You want to see it all, but we
Pokemon.
know it's not possible. But I mean, listen, don't hesitate. Book the trip that you
Hey,
want.
don't tell Eric you can't do them all. This dude's seen more places than both us combined, man.
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know. I got a lot of
in
places I
Europe,
still
man,
need to see that I haven't though yet. So
I mean, we're talking about a guy who's only been on one cruise. You're talking to another guy who's been on over 40 cruises. So it's it depends on how you look at it, right? So yeah, he's done a lot more international travel to Europe, which I'm super, super jealous about. But I get to watch the videos and the vlogs that he makes of those places, and it makes me go,
Yeah.
okay, well, now when I go to Lithuania, I need to look at these apartments for 70 euro a night, and then I can go pick up some local groceries and come back and just cook and enjoy my day. Because everyone knows, if you've seen my vlogs, you know my whole thing with my vlogs is frugal friendly and where the locals go. I want to be where the locals are. I don't want to be stuck at, no offense, a tourist trap like Paradise Beach or Mr. Sancho's while I'm in Cozumel. I want to go party where the locals party. I want to eat where the locals eat. That's where the good food is. That's where the good drinks are. That's where the live atmosphere is.
Yeah,
We're
you
at
can immerse
Paradise
yourself.
Beach. I'm at Paradise Beach with everybody just got off the boat with me in Paradise Beach.
Yeah.
I'm not immersing myself in the culture. And that's what I like to do. I like to immerse myself in the culture.
And you
Bring
can
back
do
those
that in
memories.
like micro doses, when you're cruising. Except when you cruise with some like that's another like big thing with MSC, right? Is there's a lot of their sailings where you're sitting in a port for a full day or maybe even 2 days.
12 hours, 12, 14
Yeah,
hours.
and that's amazing when you get to immerse yourself that much. So again, I'm like, I'm trying to be the MSC brand ambassador here. So,
Bro, I'm right there with you. I'm all for MSC. And that's a good thing too, because like if you want to experience the European style of eating, go on an MSC cruise.
so good.
Because they got it all, man. And that's the one great thing about it. And I know you've only been on 2 cruises, Eric, but I'm telling you, man, the way you travel, you're gonna love cruising on top of land-based just as much.
So for a guy
I'm
like
trying to
you, Eric,
definitely get in. I'm trying to definitely get in at least one cruise a year from here on
yeah.
out, though.
So what I would throw to you, because Chastity and I, for our 25th anniversary, we're trying to plan this grand thing, right? So we've looked at a number of different things, and one of the things we looked at is staying in Greece for a week,
That
and
would
then
be
hopping
awesome.
on a ship. I think out of Greece, maybe we go to Portugal. I can't remember. Anyway, and transatlantic. back home.
Yeah,
So,
that's the one you were talking about out of Madeira, Portugal.
Yeah, so that's so fly over, experience that area for a week. Don't buy a return ticket. Just go one way over, and then sell your happy butt back to Miami, Port Canaveral, wherever they're selling into. And MSC offers a ton of that because they're trying to bring more ships into the U.S. market.
And that's like a big thing with me, right? Like, so April's a big month for me. So I'm flying over to Rome. I'm getting on the Sun Princess. I'm going a 9-day Mediterranean sailing around Greece and Italy. And then I'm taking a plane from Rome, which is unfortunate because I would love to be able to take the train from Rome to Barcelona.
Yeah.
Like that, if I can take public transportation, like a train, a bus, or something like that over an airplane, I so would. And Europe is a great way to do it because you can just get anywhere so fast. Like you can make it from London to Paris by train in 2 hours.
Yep.
So
in the tube, then go to the.
That's it. You take the Elizabeth line over to the Eurostar, take the Eurostar over to Paris. You're there within 2 hours, and you're getting to see so much more countryside, city side, whatever it may be. But I don't have enough time. Right. I don't have enough time from the time I get off in Rome to make it to the train and then get to Barcelona before the cruise leaves the next day. I'm literally getting there, getting off the ship in Rome, flying to Barcelona, staying the night, getting on a ship the next morning. And typically I wouldn't do that, but I'm all right with it because I've been to Barcelona. I got to enjoy Barcelona a little bit. And I just wish there was other ways to do it.
So we need to have, so talking about train travel, we need to have my son Dylan back on here because he just got back from Korea less than 6 months ago. And I don't know if either one of you two gentlemen have ever been to Korea. But they would go on the weekend, jump on a train or a bus, and you can go to Seoul. You can go to, where he was at down south, in Kunsan, and you can see you can have all these different experiences because Seoul's almost like Japan. I mean, they're very westernized and, video games, cartoons, all that kind of stuff. Then you go down to somewhere like Kunsan and it's farmers, fishermen, and they have amazing seafood. You can go out to the islands right off of there and you can look across and you can see, the pollution from China. Like, the pollution's not cool, but it's from China. So that's kind of cool to see. That's an amazing place to go visit as well. And there's a lot of places that are, and I love that idea of traveling using public transit. But then there's some other places I'd like to go to that public transit would scare me. So like India, that I would love to go to India, but have you seen how those folks get on those trains?
Bro, I will hop on the back of one of those little scooters with 8 other people. Like I'm all for it. Like let's go.
Put me in a tuk-tuk before you put me on one of those trains that people are riding on top of.
They pack them out in India where you can't even close the door.
That's the same with Japan, man. It's the same with Japan.
The same way.
But you know what? It's the same in England too, because when I was in London, certain times of the day, the tube and the underground would be slam packed because 90% of the people getting to and from work are taking public transportation.
Yeah, now, Paris Metro too is all the same. They get packed
out great too, though. The morning I landed there because I took the tube all the way from Heathrow all the way to my hotel, and there wasn't nobody on the train.
But I also
landed at 5:30 in the morning.
I took the little electric taxi. So one of the things that was cool to me about London, Eric, have you traveled? You've traveled to England, London?
Yeah, I've been to London 3 times.
You had. Yeah. So like they a new car over there has an old body style a lot of times. It's like the first I got picked up by an electric taxi, but it looked like something out of Mr. Bean. And, I was like, wait a minute, and you get in and it has all these, modern luxuries, but it looks like something from either like Mr. Bean or Austin Powers. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you felt posh once around the block and then home, James.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. So, all right, we talked about Prague. We talked about Lithuania. We talked about a little bit about England just then.
Here we go. Let's talk a little bit about New Orleans, Eric. Since you're only an hour and something away, and there's a lot of people getting ready to go to New Orleans on this booze cruise, and there's a lot of them in the chat right now.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about New Orleans. Talk a little bit about what it's like living in the big near the Big Easy.
Well, one of my favorite things about New Orleans that never changes is, for me, I'm a person who really loves art and architecture. So when you're just walking around the French Quarters in general, and it doesn't have to be the French Quarters, Magazine Street's a good neighborhood for it too, with the homes and everything. Like the architecture, the colonial, the Spanish and French architecture in New Orleans is top notch. The music in New Orleans, like there's literally music everywhere.
Everywhere, man. Everywhere.
So you walking around New Orleans, there's kids playing drums, there's people on the streets with buckets playing music for money, there's people standing on top of cars playing money, there's bars everywhere with live music. Like music is everywhere. There's the brass bands, there's the people, what do they call it? I don't know why I can't think of it. They do the little the lines when people jump in and join in with them and everything. So I can't think of the
Like a
name of it,
conga
but
line.
yeah, that's not the name I'm thinking of, but yeah, pretty much though. But yeah, everywhere, music's everywhere in New Orleans. The music, art, and architecture, and the food are probably the best things about New Orleans. Like everywhere.
Yeah, that's the one thing
Yeah,
I
man.
realized when I was there back in January, and I absolutely loved it too because like Jefferson Square, they pop up throughout the whole day, like all these different artists and so many different amazing pieces of artwork that you can get. Now, y'all don't see it because we're here, but if you ever came to my house, my walls are covered with like specific artworks or different types of artwork. I'm a big fan of artwork. I'm a big fan of history. So anything that's got to do with like culture or historic times, whether it's colonial or Spaniard times, I'm all about that. Um, but the big thing with me with New Orleans, man, is what sold me is it's like it's its own vibe, right? So you can go to New York, you can go to Vegas, you can go to Cali, but New York is like a next level own vibe. So if you've never been there, get ready because you're going to experience a place that you thought only existed in your dreams because the vibe, the food, the atmosphere, it's absolutely amazing.
So we're going to get to spend a lot of time down there this time around, and I'm going to keep a little bit of that to ourselves because Chastity and I we need some time to ourselves.
Take it.
But
And I'll,
but
and I'll say
anyway,
this too.
go ahead.
I say this too about New Orleans. Like Bourbon Street is not for everyone. Like some people think Bourbon Street's a little too wild. You could go there during the day when it's a little more tame
Yeah,
and
yeah,
enjoy it. But Bourbon Street gets a little wild.
yes,
But
it does.
there's so many places in the French Quarter. Even if you don't like Bourbon Street and it's not your cup of tea, you could go one street over to Royal Street. And
Yeah.
Royal Street, they got all these antique shops, all these art shops everywhere. Like
Yeah, but
Royal Street is
man,
totally different. You got the boutique hotels and everything.
if you hadn't been to the French Quarter, you got to hit Bourbon Street at
You
least
got to,
once at a nighttime.
got
I mean,
to.
you got to go get a pineapple, right? You got to go get a grenade over at
Hand grenade.
yeah, you got to go get the
But
hand
see,
grenade.
I'm not a big fan of the hand grenades, so don't shoot me.
But you got to do it once. I'm not saying go
So
back and get another. You
I'm
just
a
got to
big
do it once.
fan of the frozen cocks, bro. You ever had the frozen cock? Oh my god,
Hey, I
man!
told you, we started to pick you up a gift while we were in the Caribbean, man. I should have got you that multicolored one.
That was it. That was the mold, man. Don't worry about it. I'm making money in the Caribbean as it is.
Hey, whoever they used as a model for that, God bless that man. Anyway, but yeah,
in
so
more ways
like
than one.
I'm trying not to address the chat too much, but Bone Tired just said the World War II Museum. That's something I definitely want to hit for
Yep.
sure.
Excellent
And then
museum.
I gotta get with both of you gentlemen and find out for sure where we need to eat. So the last time I was there, we didn't get to experience beignets. Of course, we were just there. It was on our first sailing, and we sailed on the Valor out of New Orleans. So we hit Tropical Isle. We went and got hurricanes down at can't
Paddles.
remember. Yep, Patos. And then we went back and we had dinner at the Creole House. So that was our trip. So I've watched some of Nadi's stuff. I need to watch more of yours, Eric, and find out where we need to be eating.
Yeah, so I don't know if Eric's going to agree or not, but I'd say if you want the New Orleans experience, right? Like, let's go with the original Cafe Du Monde. Everyone's going to go there. That's going to be that place where everybody goes. But if you want good beignets, I'm telling you now, go to Cafe Beignet. Do not go to Du Monde. And I don't know if Eric's going to agree with me on this one because, he's from Louisiana. So he might know a little bit more than me. But all the locals I talked to, every Uber ride I got in, everyone was telling me, man, listen, Cafe Beignet is the place to be. So I went there. I tried them out in comparison. And the size alone was double what you would get at Beignet. And it was just that much more airier and fluffy and coated in all that good powdered sugar to the point I'm salivating right now. So if y'all ain't here watching the live, y'all ain't gonna see me, but I'm fitting to hop on a plane tomorrow to just go to Cafe Beignet.
The only beignets I've ever had was at Disney in French Quarter at the hotel there. Like that's the only beignets I've ever had. So I think I'm missing out on something in my life.
Oh yeah, you're missing out on something. You're missing out on
those were fantastic. If they get better than that, I may have. I have. So Tracy and Aaron, they sailed with us last time. They got to see me get emotional over food. You may see me get emotional over food when we're down there.
Oh, that happens with me all the time, boy. Oh man, I'm telling you.
Something just brings you back or something like that,
foods out there that will bring a tear to a glass eye, right? That's what you say. And New Orleans is one of those places that will bring a tear to a glass eye. You're talking po' boys, muffaletta. You're talking shrimp, literally right out of Lake Pontchartrain. Like you can't get no fresher than the seafood you get in New Orleans. Same with Florida, right? Like you go to certain places in Florida, you can't get any fresher seafood than what you're getting.
Oh, the beautiful man. He got hung up.
Oh, I think he froze up on us, Josh.
Yeah, I think he froze up. I thought
but I'm going to say I agree with you about Cafe Beignet, and I said it in several of my videos.
Let's go.
I actually had a vlog. I had a vlog that I did a year and a half ago. It was with another travel channel, Means to Travel. They lived right outside of Chicago, so they were visiting New Orleans. They came down, and we tried both beignets, Cafe Beignet and Cafe Du Monde, and we all agreed that Cafe Beignet was a lot better than Cafe Du Monde.
Let's go. And for all them haters out there telling me that, Cafe Beignet is the Cafe Du Monde's the place to go. It's the original. It's the best beignet in New Orleans. Man, you just heard it right here from a boy that lives in Louisiana. Cafe Beignet all day. Let's go. Stop hating. Just go I don't care where you get them from. Just go get some beignets when you're in New Orleans. Enjoy it. Eat them up. Get some coffee.
I mean, you should get Du Monde just for the experience, but you should go to Beignet because Beignet is going to be better. Try them both.
Listen, the Du Monde experience to me isn't worth it. I stood in line for over an hour and a half, paid for these beignets, and I didn't enjoy them as much as I enjoyed the ones at Cafe Beignet that I stood in line for 5 minutes. And you know what? To be frank, they had live music at Cafe Beignet, so I got to enjoy live music with my beignets, which made the experience that much better.
So here's the question for me, because I love me some chicory coffee. Who has the best chicory coffee?
I'd say anybody.
Anybody? Because it's all dirt, right?
It's it, bro. It's just coffee ran through some gravel and rocks they drug up out the Mississippi. I mean,
I do. So here's my this is what keeps me going during the day and keeps me focused. So I am in no way sponsored by these guys, but Grinds
coffee.
So these are coffee pouches, right? They look like dip, but they're not. They're coffee pouches. So they've got coffee, but they also have chicory inside them. And I'm a big fan of chicory. I had there's a guy that I used to work with.
Chicory coffee at Beignet. I did it at Du Monde. It was good.
Yeah, I had a gentleman that grew up on Lake Pontchartrain that I used to work with, and he would bring in Cafe Du Monde coffee all the time. Like the ground beans or whatever.
Right. Where was I at? I was somewhere recently here, and they had cans of Cafe Du Monde coffee for like $3.
Yeah, I like Cafe Du Monde, and then there's a Cuban coffee you can get in the stores now too.
Cafe Bustelo.
There you go, Cafe Bustelo. That's good stuff. That is.
You can get some Bustelo or get some Pilon, man. It's chef's kiss.
I drink that. I drink Lavazza a lot. I like Lavazza coffee.
Good.
Some good Italian roast.
Lavazza's good. Now, I can tell you what, man. A po' boy is never a wrong thing to get. You like seafood, right? Yeah, man. Get yourself a po' boy. There ain't nothing wrong with a po' boy.
Nola po' boys. Nola po' boys is a really good place to get po' boys and gumbo.
NOLA po' boys.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
but look, man. I mean, we're trying to live this. We're trying to live this healthy life. So, like,
Oh,
what
bro,
can I
that's out the
do?
window.
Yeah, just gotta.
Leave that in Virginia. Listen, I've been eating healthy too, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and cap. I've been eating better. I've been eating healthier. I'm on my
Hey,
chicken
look at this,
sausage
man.
kick with green beans. Now, New Orleans is not the place to go and eat healthy. I'm sorry.
Nope.
You're not gonna.
That's
You
fine.
can find healthy options. I'm not saying you can't. You can find healthy options, but is that authentic New Orleans?
No, I mean that's fine, man. Like we'll just eat. We'll drink our calories on the ship, and we'll be all right. We'll go on a
There you
liquid
go.
diet for 7 days.
There you go.
That'll work.
I mean, endless calories, but there you go. Pointless calories.
So are you? So all right, Eric B. When are you heading out of Baton Rouge, to go to Miami to sail on the Celebration?
I am going on I'm going on that Saturday. The 22nd is the actual cruise, which is Sunday. I'm flying out on Saturday morning, like early in the morning, like
Okay.
5:30 a.m.
So you're not going to have an opportunity to come hang out with us pre-booze cruise.
Now,
Yeah.
I think when you come back, when you go on the cruise, I think I'll already be gone.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, it looks like. So I think we sail on the 29th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
leave
come
out on the
back on
29th.
our cruise gets back in on the 29th, so I actually get
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
town on the 30th.
So look, I mean, Naughty, we gotta go down. Look, I really think I feel a group visit to Eric B.
Let's go.
And maybe we start in Baton Rouge, go watch LSU play ball, and then we go down to New Orleans.
That
Let's
would
go.
always be fun.
Hey, I'd love
Let's
to
go.
get in a
You make it in time to
tailgate
catch an
party in Baton
LSU
Rouge.
game. That
Come
would be
on now.
great.
Come
Oh
on now.
yeah.
And then
I got
we holler
got a lot of buddies that do big tailgating too. So
and we holler at the bearded homeboy over there, Josh from Have Luggage Will Travel.
oh yeah.
Oh boy, I'm gonna tell you what, we'll tear it up. We'll tear it up.
Oh, we'll have a good time.
New Orleans will never be the same.
Let's do it. I mean,
Yeah,
it'll probably
we
smell the
need to.
same, but let's do it.
Chastity's up there listening to this right now, and she's like, she's looking in the bank account. She's like, I don't know how we're gonna pull this off.
I will never financially recover from this.
I'll never financially recover.
Chastity the accountant.
Hey, I hear like so our bathroom's right up above us. She's actually in the shower, so she's not hearing any of this. She'll catch it on the replay, and then she'll be slapping me in the back of the head. She's like, what'd you sign us up for? Like,
You will not, Joshua.
yeah, man. So all right,
You want to
hey,
talk about something crazy, bro? Like, I booked my New Orleans flights probably like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And I booked them one ways because it was cheaper for me to book one way there and one way back than round trip with Southwest. So I've been doing this thing every day where I check the Southwest app on the fares because Southwest is one of the airlines that doesn't charge you change fees. They just charge you the additional if you're changing your flight to like a later time or whatever. Bro, I think they gave me back like 3 times what I've paid.
Damn.
For my flight to New Orleans. Like every time I check it, it's $45 cheaper. So I go and I redo it and I get a $45 credit.
wow.
I think at this point, Southwest is just handing me money because my flight there was like $76 and I did this like 5 times already. So I'm making money on my flight to New Orleans.
I got to link up with you because I've got some unfortunate news to admit. We have not booked our flight yet.
No.
Nope. I mean, not that we're just like trying to find the best deal, and I've got a lot of American points, but it's hard to get to New Orleans on America.
Okay, so here's another topic for you,
Yeah,
Eric.
Who do you? I use too.
Who do you go through when you look up your flights?
I'm always on Google Flights, and I usually find good deals on Google Flights. I go on there and I just search.
Okay.
And I usually search one ways because I find better deals when I piece them together.
Yeah, yep. You ever use Skyscanner?
I have. I find Google Flights a little better, but sometimes I do use Skyscanner just so I can have a backup. Plus, you have to look at it like this. Some airlines aren't on Google, so you do have to do like Southwest is not on Google. So
Right.
if you want to find Southwest, you got to go to their website. So you do have to have backup options.
Yeah,
Man,
so I do a lot of it
y'all done
through.
put me on something now. I didn't even know about this Google
Yeah,
flight
yeah. So
thing.
I do a lot through Google Flights and I do a lot through Skyscanner. But here's one thing I
Wow.
do, and I don't know if a lot of people know this
Ooh.
or not, but I'm gonna put y'all on something real good. If y'all live near an airport, okay, it doesn't matter if that's the airport you're flying out of, as long as these two airlines fly in and out of that airport, you can do this, right? So Southwest, or not Southwest, let me stop lying. Spirit and Frontier. Now we're talking our frugal, friendly airlines, right? If you're going on a 2-hour flight, I don't mind taking Spirit, but if you go to the airport and you purchase your tickets ahead of time for Spirit and Frontier, you save money by going to the airport. So if you go on Spirit's website right now and you go through and you book a one-way flight and it says passenger usage fee and it's like $40, you'll save that $40 by purchasing your tickets at the airport ticket counter.
Wow.
Now they don't tell you this. Now I do this all the time because, again, I live 40 minutes from Tampa International Airport, but I work at Tampa International Airport. Like, that's where my post office is. So I go back and forth there twice a day. So when I get done work, if I got to get a flight and Spirit's got it for $60, well, when I go and I buy it at the ticket counter, I'm only paying $20.
Wow.
Because you're only paying the fare for the flight plus the taxes. You're not paying.
I've gotten some really cheap flights off of Spirit though, but I've never done that before. Gotten one like that.
Yeah, man. You can. I've literally back in, what was it, the beginning of September, my dad was supposed to fly up right when we were supposed to get that real bad hurricane. He was supposed to fly up to Philadelphia to visit with my grandma. His ticket was $19 online. I think I paid $9 for it at the airport.
My thing with Spirit is I'll book a Spirit flight for cheap and I'll pack my book sack up to where it won't, you can almost not even close it. And I got as much in that as I got in a bag, but they're gonna charge me $60 for a bag. But I packed that book sack out and they charged me nothing.
Yeah, now if you're flying and you don't need to bring like a check bag or a carry-on, it's definitely an option, right? So there's a lot of times where I'll fly Spirit or Frontier and I'll go to the airport and save that little bit of money, because then I'll take that money I saved and I'll put it on for a bag. So yeah, I might have ended up paying that full price for that airline ticket, but I really didn't. I got the airline ticket in my bag with it. But a lot of people don't know that. So if y'all want to fly Southwest or Frontier, hit your local airport, buy the tickets from there. It'll be cheaper.
We can.
Now, I'm not telling you to do that the
up.
day of travel. Like, do that as soon as you find your flight. If you know that's the flight you want to take and they got it for $99, go get it now. I don't care if it's 3 months down the road. Don't wait to the last minute. Go and get it as soon as you can, so that way you know you got it in your book. But anything to save that little bit of money, right? That little bit of coins there.
Yeah. I mean,
the nearest airport here that flies Spirit is New Orleans. Baton Rouge doesn't, but it's fine though, because I go to New Orleans probably 3-4 times a month. So one of these times that I'm just going to New Orleans, I can just do it since I'm already going there.
Pop in, grab the ticket.
We talked about public transit earlier. How do y'all feel about Amtrak? I mean, I've went Amtrak a couple times now. I really enjoyed it. And we thought about trying to do New Orleans. It's 36 hours, which we didn't really care about that. But what bothered us is 24 hours of that we could have got business class, but we couldn't have got a sleeper car. I'm like, nah, I'm not going that many hours without a sleeper car.
I don't know if it would be worth it from Virginia to New Orleans. If I'm going to do an Amtrak train ride that's going to be 36 hours, it's going to be from like New Jersey to California.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go across the whole country, right?
You're going to go to Hogwarts.
So, I was born and raised in the city of Philadelphia. Like, the way it was public transportation.
Born and raised, huh?
That's it. Born and raised on the playgrounds where I spent most of my days. You can shoot all your jokes there. You can shoot all your jokes there, Smithfield boy. But I grew up in Philly. We took public transportation to get to school. Like, we went to school. We took the SEPTA public transportation bus. If we wanted to get downtown, we took the L, which was the high-speed train. Like, that was the way of life. Even when I moved to New Jersey, to get anywhere, you had to have a car or you took public transportation. So to me, public transportation is a great it's a great thing. I love taking public transportation, especially if I'm over in Europe, because it's cost effective for one, and you can get to so many places a lot faster than you could, a lot cheaper than you could if you took a cab or whatever it may be. Now, I'm not saying don't rent a car. If you want to rent a car, but I know me, and I'm not confident enough to drive on the opposite side of the road, especially after I had a pint or two. That's just me.
Of warm beer.
Yeah, that's just me. But I have no issue with public transportation. Now, my buddy Cameron, they took the Amtrak in January from Chicago down to New Orleans, but they had a sleeper coach. So they enjoyed that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could do it in a regular sitting up for 36 hours. I don't think I'd be all right with that.
You got to watch out for the Dementors.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So you live in Tampa area, right? So what do you think about Brightside train?
Ooh.
I heard it's coming to Tampa, right?
So
it's going Orlando to Miami now.
Right. Now I'm 40 minutes north of Tampa. So I'm in a little town called Spring Hill, and it's really not that little, to be honest, but I'm 40 minutes north. So we have a public transportation bus here, but it really doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do much. Tampa has public transportation. It has Hart as their public transportation, but it really doesn't go that far or do much, right? So it's like you're not able to take the whole state by hand. That Brightside is going to be fascinating because that's a way to get you from Tampa to Orlando and then Orlando to Miami.
That's money,
so
man. That's money right there now.
If for someone like me who has a cruise in Miami, it's 5 hours drive time just for me to get to Miami. Then I got to pay to park, and then I got to drive 5 hours home. Well, if I can get a train ticket on Brightside from Tampa to Orlando and then Orlando to Miami, and I can still make it in that 5 hours, and it's costing me a fraction of that price, I'm going to take the train all day.
So here we go. Naughty is subliminally trying to sell me on moving to Tampa, because if they put that in and I can Brightside to Orlando, now I'm making my season pass holder Disney dreams come true. And I get to cruise.
Let's go.
It's a hard sell, man. It's a hard sell right there, buddy.
Let's go. Well, I'll let you on a little secret, man. Disney season passes come with parking, so you don't have to train over. But if you want to go over,
training over is so much fun.
You and Chastity want to do, drink around the world 4 times in one day, like I would do, then I would train it all day long.
I would just want an Epcot season pass. We love Epcot, man.
Bro, Epcot's my favorite. Yeah. It's absolutely my favorite.
So, hey, man, this was awesome, and we got to do it again. But before we jump off here, we would be remiss if we didn't allow Eric to talk about his channel.
Yeah, bro. Talk about your channel, what you got coming up, any future travels, and just let the people know what you got, man.
All right, so my channel is Travel Adventures with Eric B. Got a video I'm working on this week to come out that's going to be about Royal Street. I mentioned it earlier. The whole video is about Royal Street in New Orleans. Wow, that's the video awesome. I got coming out this week. Good timing. Yeah, that's the video I'm working on to have come out on Friday. May have one come out on Saturday. I'm still working on that as well. But as far as what I have coming up trip-wise, I'm going to Houston for the weekend, so gonna try to do a couple travel videos on Houston. I haven't been to Houston now in maybe 3 years when I first started the channel, so I'm excited to do a couple videos on Houston. I am also going on a cruise at the end of October, which I'm very excited about, the 22nd through the 29th. It is the Carnival celebration. It is going to Amber Cove, St. Thomas, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. And there's another trip in there. Oh, yeah. I'm going to Gulf Shores, too, for a weekend coming up like next weekend.
There you go. Go down to the Floribama, baby.
I'm actually going to the Shrimp Festival. I've been wanting to vlog the Shrimp Festival for a long time. So that's when I'm going to be vlogging that. So you'll see those videos coming out soon as well. So
Eric, and I think Bruce may still be in the chat here. I'd like to encourage you, and I'm going to just put this out there. And if it's not cool, then put it over on the Moonlight Adventures page. I don't care. Put that video into the Booze Cruise group, if you would, where you're talking about Royal Street.
Yeah. Are you in the Booze Cruise page?
Well, I'm not. I think you have to request to join it. So I don't think
do me a favor. Once you get it done, send me a private message with the link or let me know that you got it done, and I'll drop it in there.
Because the people want to know. The people want to know, man. And knowing Bruce and the group that's there, nobody's going to care. It's not, we all want you to grow, Eric. So you know what I'm saying?
Real,
like,
bro.
nobody cares.
Yeah, shoot me a message. Let me know when you got it up, man, and I'll drop it in there. I'll get everybody to go check it out. Because that's the thing, right? Everybody's coming in early, so everybody's going to want to try and do stuff. So like you said earlier, Magazine Street, that's a big one, man, that a lot of people really don't think about. So yeah, get it done, man. Let me know when it's up, and I'll come grab the link and we'll drop it in there.
Appreciate that.
So this has been fantastic. I hate to I think we could probably go another 30, 40 minutes, but we're going to have you back on, Eric. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I know it's like late, but I'm butting up against another appointment, so that's weird to say at 10 o'clock. And being a soldier, man, I like to train to standard, not to time. However, so big man, the naughty man. Anything you wanna put out there that we got going? You got going?
I ain't got nothing much going on. I'm just finishing up a couple of vlogs. We got the Boost Cruise coming up the end of this month. Next Monday, we have Travel Sarge on with us here at Pier-to-Pier
Yes.
next Monday at 9 o'clock. So be sure to check that out. I'll be live regular time tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. And I think on Monday, we're going to make an announcement here on who we have closing out the month of October, starting out the month of November. And that is a guest that you're not going to want to miss out on.
Hey,
but
we're going to go here. Let's do it. We're going to go shirtless when we announce that one. And we go shirtless when we announce it.
Shirtless? I don't
I don't know. Can we do a short with the video I have of you to announce that?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you put your picture in there, I'm cool with that.
I'll just blur it out.
Yeah, right.
But you'll still be identified. But hey, so this was great primer for the Travel Sergeant coming up. So Travel Sergeant is very similar to Eric B. He's primarily on Instagram, but on October 9th, he is our next guest that we're going to have on, large presence on Instagram. He goes all over the place, Middle East. He went and got his first tattoo in Mexico City, which was freaking cool if you go and see that video. But once we get to know him, I would like to introduce him to Eric because I think they'd have a lot of common ground. And I'd even like to have them both on the podcast at the same time.
At once, yeah. Let's do it, bro. And yeah, Meg, I see your comment. We'll leave our shirts on. Don't worry.
Hey, but again, thanks to everyone in the chat that came in here. If you have not subscribed to Eric B, he's one of these guys that's grinding and doing it the right way. He deserves your he deserves your subs. He deserves your likes. He deserves for you to hit the alert bell. Which, oh, by the way, hit Naughty's alert bell. Hit our alert bell. Make sure you don't miss anything on the Travel Chats podcast. And also make sure that you go over and you follow us on Spotify so you don't miss out on anything. And we appreciate you guys. We love you. Naughty, what you got for them, man?
All I got is Pier-to-Pier Travel Chats swag is coming next week. So
we got swag. We got swag.
I got nothing else.
We got swag up in the house. We got swag up in it. Sorry.
I got nothing else except for me and Josh ain't gonna be nice to each other come Saturday because my Phils are up 7-0, baby. So let's go, Braves. Let's go.
Hey,
on that note, Eric, man, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come in here and chat with us, clowns.
And this made the day go better after my Rays got eliminated. At least this made it go a little better.
Hey, before we jump off here, though, what's going on with Tua, man? Why y'all finally find some linemen so he can throw the football? Is that what's going on down there?
Well, the offensive line was doing great until we ran into Buffalo Sunday.
Hey, but Tua's
he got sacked. He got sacked one time in the first 3 games.
Yeah,
and Buffalo got him 4 times.
You got to protect him because he's got glass bones.
Yeah, but he's buffed up some. He put on 15 pounds. He's trying.
How do you not put on 15 pounds when you got that good food that he can get in Hawaii? I mean, come on, man.
After that injury last year, man, they need to give him a little bit more some blockage, man.
He's trying, man.
Thanks a lot, Eric. Thanks a lot, Naughty. We are out.
Peace.